Hello everyone, welcome to our Coromon Viability Spotlight. Today we're going over 6 of the most overused Coromon in the metagame so far. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. First up, we have Big Bearealis, who is a Coromon I've been sleeping on for a while, and after I had like 2 or 3 days to grind a team and actually team build, I was like, there's no reason why I shouldn't have Bearealis. Its ice typing is the best in the game. Its ability, Clumsy Power, is easily one of the best in the game as well. It also gets things like Avalanche, Splatter, Flying Kick, and Revenge for coverage. And in this case, we're running a max spread. There is another spread you can run that's pretty common that allows you to take 3 hits from Glamoth and 1v1 that. So if Glamoth is a worry for you and your team, you can run this as kind of a check / counter to Glamoth. On the moveset, there actually are a couple other moves that you can throw in there. I recommend keeping Avalanche and Flying Kick no matter what. But you can run things like Precision Eye, which is going to increase your accuracy, so that will negate the accuracy decrease from Clumsy Power. You can also run Epiphany if you wanted to boost your attack and defense at the same time. With the berry, I'm recommending the Raspberry to boost your avalanches, but I have seen the Canal Fruit run as well. The only downside is there's a 30% chance that you're going to get a status associated with you if you do run that berry. So it's a trade-off between longevity and power. Either way, this is a really good Coromon that I recommend checking out, and we will have future analysis on this Coromon as we go through the metagame. Next up is Humbee, and I'll be completely honest, I had no idea that this thing was such a demon. I want to give credit to Rose for, I think, really making this set popular, but All In will boost your attack, I believe, by 2, and lower your defense by 2 stages. Double Sting and Transcending are both priority moves. And Last Stand is basically like Endure. It allows you to take any hit and live on 1 HP. That will allow you to eat your Oki Fruit, which will then increase your attack by 3 stages. So with such high special defense, in this case it's 185, there's a very good chance that you could go for an all-in, tank a special move, get your Oki Fruit, and be at +5 with 2 priority moves in Transcending and Double Sting. This thing is really good. If you don't have an answer for it or haven't prepped for it, you're gonna have a bad time. It has base 247 attack, which is awesome. And if you're not sure what the Oki Fruit does, again, it raises your attack by 3 stages, I believe, which is really good. It does have normal typing. In terms of ability, I have Strategist here. There are some other abilities that you can run. In this case, it's kind of situational because you're mostly using priority moves. Your other abilities aren't super great. But if you are versing another Humbee, and for whatever reason you're able to take 1 hit, maybe they're not boosted on their Double Sting or something like that, you do have an increased crit chance on your 2nd hit. So something to keep in mind. Also helpful for things that are faster than you and do have priority. But overall, what you're trying to do here is set up with an all-in, get to your Oki Fruit, get to +5, and then you're just clicking Double Sting, Transcending until the match is over. This thing is really good. It's not your generic Route 1 bug. So if you haven't tried this set out, definitely recommend it. Again, this is a basic set. You max attack and max speed. There are probably some other things you can run to make it a little more fun. But if you're just trying some things out and want to try something out that's really good, definitely recommend Humbee. I guess we'll call this a Rose set. Definitely give it a try. In the previous video, our electric type was Toravolt, and I was 100% sure that Toravolt was going to be the go-to electric type that everyone was going to use on all their teams. And there was no need for things like Rhynobuz, and I was absolutely wrong. And the reason why is because this thing gets amazing coverage. It's just as bulky, if not bulkier, than Toravolt, and it doesn't hit much less harder than Toravolt either. So it has Static Body, which gives you a % chance of paralyzing or staticking your opponent, which is really awesome. We have the Canal Fruit here, which is going to it's going to give you back 70% of your HP that you've lost, allow you to recover that, with a 30% chance of inflicting a status. So, helps with longevity, but there's a chance that you'll get statused. The good thing is, something like Hazy maybe isn't detrimental to you by too much. Sleep has been nerfed, so a good chance you'll wake up. And the longevity on this set is really helpful. You can also run this with the Init Fruit if you wanted to. And in terms of moveset, we have, I'm probably going to say this wrong, is it Stalagmites, I think is how you say that. That's a sand type move that is actually a special attack. I thought it was a physical, but it is special. So you can go up 1v1 against other electric types. Multi-volt for priority. Thunder Salvo is also priority if you're running double electric. If not, I believe it's a base 90 electric attack. And then you have Super Drain as well for some residual healing and a little bit of coverage as well. Overall, this is a really good Coromon that you should definitely check out if you need an electric type. If you need something that can deal with electric types and deal with bulky waters, Rhynobuz should definitely be on your list, and this is a good set to try out. Slowly but surely, Kyraptor is becoming one of my favorite Coromon in the game. From its design, which is awesome. All forms of Kyraptor are acceptable on this channel. Prepared is a great ability which is going to double your speed upon entering battle. It's only for one turn, but makes it a really great revenge killer and a pretty solid lead as well. It has base 288 attack. Its speed, I'll give you that, is not the greatest, but its moveset allows it to function really well as a breaker and a great revenge killer. You have Epiphany, which boosts your attack and your defense. You have Crunch, which will give you coverage for bulky waters. Lacerate is just like a good neutral play if you don't want to use Parts Jaws. And then Parts Jaws is a base 105 sand move that is 100% accurate, which is super nice. Like many of the Coromon we're talking about today, that item that you choose to use is really up to you. I'm using the Ore Fruit here because once you get in danger, it increases your speed, which as you can see with Kyraptor is kind of an issue for it. And because it has such high base defense, it can typically tank, I should say, a super effective hit and then get into that danger range, or take like a neutral special hit and then get into that danger range as well. So it makes it an even better revenge killer and more effective in its role. I've seen the sand boosting item be used before. I've also seen a Kato/Kato, however you pronounce that, used as well. I like the Ore Fruit, but if you're looking for a sand type that's not Malavite and you want to try Kyraptor, highly recommend it. Really good mon with a great design, and you won't be disappointed. Speaking of sand types, Malavite has to be on this list as some of the most overused Coromon in the game right now. This thing is really good. Make sure you have an answer for it. At least be familiar with Malavite. It has Dry Winds, which is going to summon sand. It's going to increase crit rate for sand type Coromon and accuracy, which is really great for them. You're also going to use the Pomo Fruit most likely. This is going to boost your flying kick or your transcending on one hit. And then you have All In this case, which is going to boost your attack by 2 stages, lower defense by 2 stages, and splatter for coverage. You can drop All In or one of the coverage moves for a sand type move. I kind of like this set. I think between water, flying kick, and then transcending, you have the coverage that you need. But totally viable to use a sand type move. The spread is kind of funky. It's kind of a joke too. Everyone, for the most part, was running like max HP, max attack Malavite with the rest into SP. I'm creeping a little bit here and putting speed into Malavite so that you can speed creep a little bit if you want to. You can run max HP, max attack, run some calcs and see if you miss out on any KOs or 2 KOs. But you may want to speed creep a little bit because a lot of people on the ladder are doing that. But also just want to note, look at the stats. HP is 160, attack is 242, defense is 188, special defense is 240, and even speed is 224, which is not bad. The only below average stat there really is special attack, which you won't be using that much. Malavite, I can't stress enough, is really good. I'd say it's up there with things like Glamoth, Atlantern in terms of being just like really powerful, something you have to plan for, even Humbee. So give Malavite a try if you're looking for some Coromon to help you get up the ladder, or just be familiar with its sets when you do come up against one. And last but not least, Megalobite Killer itself, Atlantern. I'm a huge Megalobite fan, and even I'm like, dang, I gotta run Atlantern over it. It has such good coverage with Whirlpool, Quicksand, Head Crash, and Permafrost. The only coverage it doesn't get that I believe Megalobite gets is gonna be Foul and Poison, but it's okay not running those 2 things. We have Revitalizer just for some residual recovery. Empathetic is a really good ability that's going to mirror any stat changes from your opponent. So for example, if you use Quicksand and lower speed to your opponent, your speed also gets lowered. But if someone's using like Epiphany or an evasion increasing move, you'll also get those boosts as well. The set recommending here is 60 or max for HP and special defense. It has super high defense at 344, so you don't necessarily need to invest in that unless you're really concerned about things like Humbee getting out of hand, which is totally valid. Otherwise, you can mostly just go ahead and invest in that special defense to have an overall tank And what I really love about Atlantern, which we've kind of touched on, is that its move pool is great, but also its special attack at 204 is nothing to sneeze at. So it can usually 3-hit KO most things with super effective damage. It can tank hits, and Revitalizer, it gets just enough HP back where those small neutral hits don't add up. It, I believe, basically cancels out poison as well for recovery. So Atlantern is definitely a Coromon that I've grown to like quite a bit. It does struggle against ice types a little bit if you're running like ice teams, but overall a really solid pick to have on your team. If you're not using Megalobite and you want some kind of bulky water, Atlantern is a really great choice. So that's our quick look at 6 of the most overused Coromon in the game right now. Make sure to leave a comment on the sets that you do like, the Coromon you do like, and anyone else you want to see featured. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Alright, bye everyone.